somewhat strange is that there's a level of skill that is so good it's beyond comprehension. As in, what I mean is, if let's say you're a musician, let's say you're, I don't know, a guitarist or something, uh, or actually let's take a better instrument. Let's say you're a violinist, right? You like if you see a good violinist and you're practicing violin, or I could relate this to speedrunning, for example. You see it and you see there's someone who's really good and you're like, wow, if I keep practicing one day, like it's motivating. But there's a level of skill that's like so impressive, especially if it's someone who's like younger than you, that it's the exact opposite. That if you go far enough, it flips and it suddenly becomes demotivating because it's like, oh my god, this person has been doing this for like less time than me, and is like this good. I never want to play violin. I never want to speed run this game again, or something along those lines. I wonder what that's about. It's very interesting psychological phenomena. A lot of interesting things have been happening in the No Thank You household recently. For example, my Mac broke, which has forced me to switch over to using this ThinkPad full time. Don't worry, my Mac's insured. It's gonna get fixed soon enough. I don't have to. I was worried for a bit, but whatever. This is supposed to be quick ones. I'm supposed to be talking quickly. My Mac broke, which has meant I've switched full time to my ThinkPad, which has made me realize just how great the hardware is and just how awful Windows is as a software, as an operating system. So I really need to install Linux, but problem is I don't have. I actually want to install Arch. I was thinking of going all the way and installing Gentoo, but I think I'm too much of a noob. I might just fuck everything up. Maybe I should just dive in straight with Gentoo. I don't really know. Uh, Go ahead and tell me in the comments if you're a Linux person, do you think that the advantages you'll get from installing Gentoo is like, because what I want to do is I want to learn, like, it's not just about the operating system, it's also about teaching myself how Linux works, right? Uh, do you think it's do you think it's significantly better to learn Gentoo, rather like to install Gentoo for learning rather than Arch? Uh, Tell me in the comments. But anyway, I really need to do that, but I can't do it. I need another computer. Well, I don't need another computer, but I think there's a way to do it. It's probably more helpful to have another computer, so I'm gonna wait till it gets fixed, but then immediately do it. Because I only had this laptop because I wanted to play the Sonic games, and they're only available on PC. But I've played Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 now, so bam bam boom boom bam. Another thing that happened recently is my downstairs neighbor has decided that I'm a terrible person. Not entirely sure, but I know what I did. I for one night, uh, made a lot of noise at nighttime by mistake because I forgot that noise is audible to other people because I was playing a video game. But don't worry about that. So that happened, right? Which I think is something that you just kind of need to accept if you're living in a building with other people. I mean, people around are making next. You've seen my video, loud noises from above. Well, it's even worse now. The loud noises from above stopped. Then there was a week or two of respite, and then they started doing up the building next door, uh, which is just makes it even fucking, and it's even louder. It's worse. But whatever. Now, I don't know how you complain. But anyway, basically, what I'm saying is, these little pussy bitches, and we're now beefing with them. We're now beefing with them because they're being little pussy bitches. It would be understandable to get one noise complaint like that, but then they kept complaining about the noise, even though it wasn't loud, and I've just been in my room doing nothing all the time. So I don't know how that makes any sense. So anyway, we now beefing with these pussy bitches. There's some truly depressing shit, which is that I'm gonna go back to uni the day after tomorrow, which is just god awful, and it makes me feel very sad. It's not a pleasant experience, not one that anyone should ever be put through. Going to anywhere outside of your room. Um, so wish me luck. I feel very sad about this fact. Uh, but I'm halfway through uni, so I just have to do what I did up until this point again. Hopefully, it doesn't get too much harder than this. Hopefully, something good happens in my life. Uh, I doubt it, but we can pray, right? Hi guys and welcome back to Think Bad Things, the show that randomly shows up in the middle of another show. Today we're going to be talking about the Think Vantage blue button. It's completely useless and doesn't do anything. Thanks for watching this episode of Think Bad Things. I just want to put it out there, the No Thank You channel and the Uwon Think Ton channel are now officially beefing with Tanky Talk. I've never watched a single one of this guy's videos and I don't know anything about him, but we're now beefing. I've started this internet beef. So I am going to let's think about this. Let's think about this. So I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to encourage anything. What I am saying is that this comment section seems to have a severe lack of the number 4. There doesn't seem to be enough 44444 44444s in this comment section. I see very few. I see a severe lack. I just feel like that's bad on an aesthetical level. Like, I feel like they could use some help there. I'm not saying anything, but I just feel like there's a lack because we beefing now, you know. So whatever, you know. I used to think growing old was just a death sentence, that you were ultimately doomed to become a piece of shit, boomer, boring, terrible person. But I've seen some old people that seem to be doing alright now, which makes me feel somewhat okay with being old, you know. I don't know, maybe not pleased about it, but I feel like there is actually a good way to age well. I feel like if you set your life goal as something, to make something, that to perfect something about yourself, to make something, like, I don't know, become a good, I don't know, dedicate your life to a craft of some kind. It can be anything, art, or I don't know, making chairs, something like that. And you just spend your life just perfecting that, you're probably going to end up being a pretty cool person in the end. So, maybe take that into account when you're 60. I feel like Aria is going to become my favorite anime by the time I finish it. It's just ridiculously good. Also, I'm remembering how good No Game No Life is, purely for the premise of. I'll make a whole video about this. I immediately got bored of early 2000s aesthetics. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. Not entirely. I still like the aesthetics of certain things, but like, we got the whole ontological cycle stuff. Like, we were previously obsessed with 80s aesthetics, now we're obsessed with early 2000s, late 90s aesthetics, right? As a culture, a lot of people are using that sort of thing, and some of it's great, but I feel like I got bored of it incredibly. Like, I'm already would consider myself over that. It already seems contrived, and we're not even a month into 2020 yet, and it already seems contrived. So I think I'm gonna never do that again, and I'm gonna avoid art that does do that, because it's clearly trend hopping. Not always. Some people are doing innovative stuff with it. As I said, some people are definitely doing innovative stuff with it, but it's not always bland. But a lot of times it's just not good. It's just not good. It's the illusion doesn't work for me no more. Anyway, that's the end of that. I don't even know how the fuck I'm going to live when I have to be at uni and be awake and regular people hours. It's not possible for me. It's not something I can just do. It's just hell. We live in hell. We live in another world's hell, probably. We live in hell. 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 We live. I was thinking of making an actual written video. I'm not much of a gamer, and but I do like videos by people like Joseph Anderson, analyzing video games. They're good. I like it, but I've noticed almost no one analyzes multiplayer games, and I understand why, because there's no directed experience. Well, the directed experience is much more vague, right? So there's less to analyze. You couldn't analyze the story, for example, in a game like, I don't know, Counter-Strike. But I want to analyze a game like Counter-Strike because I think Counter-Strike deserves analysis and I have a lot of thoughts about it. So I've been thinking maybe I should write an actual video about Counter-Strike. Like actually write it and make it good. Because I am very passionate about that game just fits all of my tisms, and when I explain to people who don't like games like that, I want to try and explain to them why I like it, and I can just spew for ages about it because it's great, but like it's not great. It's like this has many problems, definitely, but that's good because that means it will be a nuanced analysis video where I can talk about the pros and cons of everything. It's gonna be great. But the problem is that it would be a really lot of effort. I'd probably end up going through and playing 1.6 in Source and stuff like that, and I'd have to capture loads of footage, and I don't even have a computer I can edit a video on right now. So, you know what would be crazy? What if I was to do an analysis video on an operating system, but I don't know shit about how computers work? It all loops back on itself about what I was talking about Linux earlier. Wow, it's all interconnected. I'm a genius. Um, I feel like I could talk about something though. That's stupid. Maybe. You know what? I'll put that in the back burner, or someone else can do it. You know, I feel like I hope no one calls me an incel for this. I don't think it's actually an incel idea, but I think it might be misinterpreted as such. Uh, I feel like men and women experience sadness in a significantly different way, or rather, I would say there's a sort of masculine side to sadness and a feminine side to sadness, which any gender can experience either. But the more masculine you are, the more likely you are to to face a sort of masculine type of sadness, and the more likely you are, etc. If you're more feminine person, blah blah blah, blah, right? And I feel like I can it's something that's not very easy to put into words, but I can explain it using a specific part of sadness, which is loneliness, right? I feel like men experience a loneliness that's like a sort of a complete lack of contact, right? Like a loneliness that comes from literally being alone. Whereas I feel like the feminine, the women experience, they still experience loneliness. I'm not using the weird argument that women can't be lonely, but I feel like it seems like it's more of an experience for them as like a a a lack of real human interaction. Like everything is just sort of fake. Like not everything's fake, but like it's easy to come by vapid social interaction, and they miss they can, for example, if you're a woman, it's probably very easy to find a man who will just want to fuck you, right? Because men are bastards like that. But it's probably very hard to find a man who actually deeply cares for you, and you would probably, after experiencing many times where a man would pretend to be romantically invested in you just to have sex with you, which is something women experience a lot, you would start to doubt anytime anyone experiences or um, anytime anyone shows any sort of affection to you, you would have some doubt in the back of your mind that it's fake, or some reason to believe that it was just put on, and that probably spreads to relationships with like platonic relationships and everything, which is still a type of loneliness. They're missing out on a genuine contact, only experiencing this surface level contact, whereas I think the masculine form is more about completely missing out on any sort of contact at all. Um, as usual, the male version is rather crude, uh, as it tends to be. And but if you want to dive deeper into this, I would just simply listen to these two songs side by side. Masculine Sadness is the song The Lasting Dose by Crowbar. Uh, that's Masculine Sadness, and Feminine Sadness is the song Alien Observer by Grouper. Um, so they, if you play those two songs back to back, you're maybe this is just something that is very easy for me to understand with my particular tisms, but doesn't make sense to anyone else. I'd be interested if you would comment what you think about after your thoughts after listening to those two songs. If you think I'm completely wrong, that would also be interesting to hear. Well, I normally don't ask for comments, but because I'm not expanding on these points very much in this quick ones type of video, uh, I think it's actually more conducive to that sort of thing. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, by the way, I had one final quick one. If you think I wear the Madotsuki shit better than Yoshika Miyako Red, give this video a thumbs up. If you think I wear the Madotsuki shit better than Yoshika Miyako Red, I don't know, do something, do some sort of call to action. Go go to your local bank and steal something. Steal a pen. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Do I look like someone that knows what they're talking about? Look at me. Look at me. Anyway, we live in hell.